In a little bit, all of you will have an opportunity, if you want, to come forward and get your own little sunflower seeds and spread them in this place. The sunflower seed has become a symbol of the nuclear weapons abolition movement because it's actually through this process of sunflowers actually growing and being healthy, they actually take up some of the radiation and deal with it in a way that causes it to become less harmful. So that's why we do that. I plant these seeds today in this place in particular because I'm a gardener, and even though when you plant the seed you have no idea, it's all a matter of faith. You're trusting that somehow or another, in a process that you can't begin to understand or even appreciate fully, that something is going to happen and something amazing could happen even though it doesn't seem at all logical. These old dead-looking seeds can somehow or another become new life. Now, Henry had a 7-page document. Actually, Henry had a 5-page document, didn't you, Henry?
Yes.
I want you to know I bested you. So the bad news is I have a 7-page document. The good news is that actually my 7 pages, in order to read it, I have to blow it up to 20-point type, you know, so you can probably read this. And I'm going to forego most of it, actually, because I don't think it's sitting out in the heat to really want to do this. The main thing that I got in touch with as I was thinking about what to say today is that the absurdity of the whole process. I mean, this is kind of like the theater of the absurd, what we're doing out here, standing out in the heat. We're kind of out here on the curbside, you know, and, you know, it's really a matter of belief or faith that this is going to somehow make a difference. And I do believe that, and I'm grateful that you believe that as well, that somehow or another, when you cast a small pebble in a pond, a ripple begins to happen, and that ripple grows. A butterfly flaps its wings somewhere across the world, something really remarkable happens. So I thank you so much for being a part of that belief. What I really see as being absurd, though, even more absurd than what we're doing out here in our little street theater, is the absurdity of what's happening behind us. The absurdity of calling this a national security campus. In my opinion, this ought to be called a national insecurity campus, or a global insecurity campus, because it's based on the absurd notion that somehow or another, by terrorizing the whole world, that's going to make us safe. We're going to sleep good at night because of that. I mean, that's just, well, I have a word, you know, what's the word? Absurd, right? Can I hear that word, absurd? Absurd. That's absurd. Absurd. I mean, another absurdity that I've noticed is that this all started out, as we pointed out several times, like just a bean field, right? And all of a sudden now they're promoting this as a green campus. So in other words, they took a bean field, they poured 1.5 million square feet of asphalt and concrete, threw a bunch of buildings up over it so it can't get rained on, and they call that a green campus. What is the name for that? Please, let me hear it. What's the name? Absurd. It's just absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Absurd. And now, as it's been pointed out several times, for $600,000, what the public mainly got was a little walkway here for $500 million, or maybe $600 million is being spent. And on the website, if you go to the website, they're bragging about the fact that by building this new site for $600+ million, nearly $500 million, by doing that, they're going to save us, taxpayers, $100 million a year. Go figure that. Calculate that out. It'll take you about 50 years to break even, you know, if any of the rest of it made sense at all. So you're going to spend over $500 million in order to save $100 million a year. What is that? That's absurd. Absurd. Let me hear it. Absurd. You believe that? Is that absurd?
Yeah, absurd.
Yes, it's totally Looney Tunes. So I just want to be part of the absurd effort to try to say, you know, enough's enough. This is just plain silly and ridiculous. And I keep going back to that old fable about the emperor's new clothes. You remember that old story? You know, they kind of duped the emperor into they were going to weave him some clothes so fine that only the most noble and wise people would be able to see it. And so he gave him a huge amount of money, probably over $500 million. And these charlatans wove him this fantastic fabric, which only the wise and just could see. Well, of course, the king's going to be the last person to acknowledge he can't see it, right? Hear any parallels here? So the king didn't let on, but what he was dressed in his finery. And one day he goes out in public. He's so proud of how much he spent and what fine clothes he has and how he can now tell the wise from, and the noble and so forth. And he goes out in public without a stitch on. And to me, this is the beauty of this story. Who is it that really blew the whistle?
Little kid.
A little kid said, "The emperor has no clothes." That's my message today for you and for me as we cross the line, as you do all your thing. All of what you're doing here is every bit as important as anything else that any of us are doing here about crossing the line or whatever. What counts is that each of us do what we feel that we can do, what we feel led to do, what we feel we're able to do, and that we don't just remain silent.
Right.
And somehow or another, I just hope and pray that you somehow or another give a witness that says, you know, this nuclear emperor has no clothes. It's just Amen.
All right, yeah.